What up, y'all? It's your boy Ben here, and we're back with another Pokemon Pocket update. That's right, we're going to be talking about what to expect in A2a, the newest expansion that's set to be released on February 28th. Now, it is just a day after Pokemon Day, and again, this is just kind of what we've seen from the data miners. We haven't gotten any official trailers yet, but it seems like Pokemon Day with the Pokemon Presents and everything else like that is the perfect time to do so. So let's just talk about it. And before we go ahead and get started, only about 13% of you who are watching are subscribed. So we have a goal to hit 10,000 subscribers. So if you haven't already, go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe, and click the notification bell button, especially if you appreciate daily uploads to the channel. Alright, y'all, with that out of the way, let's get into it. So what do we have here, right? Shout out to Pokemon Zone for like putting this all together. Just again, this is probably just like thoughts and things like that, and so like it's just really cool to kind of like get a sense of like what may be. And then, you know, it's what's also really funny is that like before, you know, the first set had 3 sets, then Mythical Island had 1, then we have our third set that only had 2 packs. So the real question is, feels like a lot of people are just saying like we're only gonna get 1 pack to kind of mirror like what Mythical Island. But who knows, maybe we get 2 packs. That's what I'm kind of hoping for, but it looks like a lot of people are thinking that it's just 1. And that could be the case here, right? So A1A Mythical Island had 68 cards, excluding the Star and Crown versions, and we also saw the variations of the Kantoian mons, right? Like the genetic apex ones. Like we had Mythical Island Rapidash, Mythical Island Golem, and so A2a might get some of those cards kind of love, where we'll get the A2a versions of the ones that we saw on SmackDown, Space Time SmackDown. That's going to be really interesting. It seems like each pack kind of has like 5 Pokemon EX cards and 3 supporter trainers, so we can kind of like think that something similar is going to be the case here. So let's take a look at what they come up with for Pokemon EX cards, and then I kind of have a couple of ideas as well too that like maybe left field, but like you know, let me know in the comments what you all think. So for a piece here, they're thinking that like Giratina is going to be an EX version here. That kind of like makes sense to me. The Giratina, they say the Giratina regular card did not have a particularly remarkable attack, so they're assuming that like Giratina EX will be able to go crazy and be able to go ham, and but they're also making it a dragon type, which would be really cool, you know. I kind of like this flow that it is a dragon type here. Even with Dialga and Pocket EX, we got their secondary typing, or maybe their first type. I forget which is like how it plays out where. But one is a steel type, the other is a water type. And if we get Giratina as a dragon type, that would be the first dragon type EX card that we get set into the game. That would be pretty sweet. And you know, this is like a version of it in the TCG where it needs like 4 energy. I've seen some custom cards that kind of like build this out, and people are like, oh, just feed it with Gardevoir. And I'm like, well, that doesn't really work because, you know, it's not a second type. But an EX Dragon would be wonderful. It matches up with Dialga and Palkia as well, so that'd be pretty sweet. And for some reason, and I don't understand why they did this to my boy Empoleon, or Torterra. Like, poor Torterra here doesn't have, let me see, here we go, these are the cards, right? If we like scroll up, like poor Torterra, it's just here, it's just not a good card, and maybe its EX version can save it, whereas like Empoleon does work, y'all. Empoleon is a good card. Not like the best card, but it's definitely a good card if you're looking to cook with something for that 80 and 30 to the bench, 110 damage overall. But they don't get the Infernape treatment, which like didn't even have a regular card, right? Like Charizard and then Charizard EX, Venusaur EX, Blastoise EX. It went Monferno, Infernape EX. So like maybe we also get like the regular version of this, but like where is the other 2-star EXs? So like really hoping to see that we would get something like that as well. And another pattern that's kind of like noted here is that the with the Kanto Stardust, their EX variants have like a stronger version of the attack on the regular cards. So we could be looking at a stronger Torterra attack that could be like used, like, you know, they say here up to 200 damage. I don't know if they're gonna give it like 200 because I think they still want Crimson Storm to be the strongest one. I feel like they're not ready to be like, yo, let's power creep cards just quite yet. But it could deal maybe 180, 190 kind of thing, and then you can reach 200 with Giovanni if need be. And then Empoleon just might get like another move, you know, like Blastoise has 2 with its Surf and its Hydro Bazooka, possibly 3 because you get more damage once you get to 5 energy. Maybe Empoleon EX gets another move, so that way you can have it can scale pretty easily with like 2 and 3, or maybe even 3 and 4, which would be pretty sweet. And I like this idea of adding Shaman like Fly Mode or Sky Form, excuse me, into the mix here as well in terms of an EX card that could be making its way. Shaman is a mythical Pokemon, so being able to have like its other version of it, especially since like the mythical island like introduced us to Celebi EX, and so like why not have the A2 continue to show us love into the AX versions of the mythical Pokemon as well. Manaphy is already a great card, so maybe they don't go into that as well, but who knows? Who knows? But I definitely like the Sky form for sure. And here they're like looking into the dragon type Pokemon, but before we like dive into like just kind of like the listing of here, an interesting and like probably out of left field, we're gonna look at a specific trainer card first, and that is the Team Galactic Grunt. You get a Glameow, a Stunky, or a Croagunk from your deck into your hand, and I think this is where they can get away with giving us a random EX mon like they did with Licky Licky and Pachirisu EX, right? Like I mean, a lot of these are random. We kind of figured we were gonna get more starters, but then we got like Pachirisu and Licky Licky, and I think that like having those, like a Glameow or a Purugly EX, because it evolves from Glameow, or like what was it, Croagunk or Stuntank? Yeah, like Stuntank getting an EX, or Toxicroak getting an EX. I don't know if Dark needs more EXs because of how well Darkrai is, but just making this like supporter card more usable, right? Like the only like things that I've seen this do is be like, I'm gonna use this so that way I can draw more cards out of the deck, so that way I can actually get my other cards that I really want. And then like people aren't playing Team Galactic around these cards, but if you give one of them, not all of them, just one of them an EX, like use as your random card, then like this becomes playable, this becomes good, and I like that. I like to see when they introduce new expansions into adding in kind of like more support for the cards that we already have, so that's fun. Here, like they're talking through the dragon type Pokemon, you know that they need their 2 energies, Dragonite, Garchomp, Drudgeon, and so with each set that we've kind of gotten, we've actually got introduced to a new dragon type, right? We had Dragonite in Genetic Apex, Drudgeon in Mythical Island, and Garchomp in Space Time Smackdown. So like hopefully they keep that kind of trend. Things to look out for: we could get Kingdra, which would be pretty sweet because it's like, Horsey, Seadra, like give love to them, and maybe we even get a full line of Horsey and Seadra into this, because then it fits into the A2 scene here. But they listed out Salamence, they listed out Flygon, Altaria, and Swablu. Out of these options, Kingdra makes the most sense to me, but I would root for a Flygon because Flygon is dope. Now, Babymon, I'm not sure if they want to do this just quite yet. We do have Riolu already, which is technically a Babymon, but they're considering it a basic. So maybe Igglybuff? Like those, I don't know. I feel like the Babymons can still be treated as basics, but the standard TCG has the Babymons as Babymons. And I just don't know if I want to use a Babymon, right? Like it doesn't really satisfy what I'm looking for, especially because you don't have a lot of cards in your deck, and to take that where it doesn't, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it doesn't give you that much of an advantage, I don't think we really need to see it. And then they're talking about other Pokemon cards in the set. This is again speaking on what we talked about before, how every EX card typically has a regular variant with the notable exception of Celebi, but cards like Infernape, Pachirisu, Mismagius, Weavile, Lickilicky, Yanmega, Gallade, Palkia, and Dialga could all just have regular cards. But in that sense, they would be weaker than their EX variant, so do you still opt to play it? We've even seen things like Executor EX, for example, which loved having baby Executor in its deck. Things like, for Mewtwo EX, loved having baby Mewtwo, but we're now seeing less and less of those in the game where where you want to run both of them. Marowak also was a very good example of that. So it's very interesting to see if they do include them, how much of an impact would they really have, or would it just feel more like filler cards at that sense. And of course, the Arceus EX, the Arceus Immersive. I mean, you can have Giratina be the immersive, but Arceus being the immersive in here, have two of them. Why not? It would be really, really cool. They have stepped up their game with the immersives with the Palkia and Dialga, so I'm kind of excited to see them do that. How do you not include the God Pokemon that is literally from Gen 4 into this? But I would like to see it. They're saying that the likelihood is very slim. The other two major Pokemon mobile games, Pokemon Go and Pokemon Masters EX, have not gotten the Arceus in any form. So the fact to see it after just a few months may not be likely. But who knows? Pocket is killing the game right now in terms of downloads, in terms of the revenue for the Pokemon company. So I'ma just say make it happen. And I kind of like this piece here. They've been there's still a lot more with Gen 4, but in later generations, right? Pokemon Legends Arceus is technically Gen 8 because that's when it came around. However, if we look at this, this means we could get some of the Hisuian forms, because this is still part of the Sinnoh region for Legends Arceus. So we could still get things like Hisuian Lilligant. We can get things like Hisuian Electrode, Arcanine, the Sneasel. Maybe we get oh my goodness, Cleaver, right? There's just so many different ways and so many different things that you could do. And then on top of that, we could also get maybe these guys as supporters. There's professors that are in there from olden times. There are, there's just lots of other things that they could play with if they decide to open up into these spin-off, well, not spin-off, because it's obviously ways that we get there, but you even get forms like Origin Form Palkia, Origin Form Dialga. It's giving right now, and I think this is really cool. And so when speaking of supporters, they're saying here, Looker was introduced in Pokemon Platinum as an international police Officer investigating Team Galactic, which we've already seen Mars, Cyrus, and obviously the Team Galactic Grunt. So being able to have him in the game could be pretty cool. His effect says draw 3 cards from the bottom of your deck. I don't think that would happen, but because you know draw power is huge, and like why not just auto include Looker in there? So they may just have the person and like have the art and then just like include that. They include Barry here because Barry was your rival from Pokemon Diamond, which is actually a pretty good note because Blue was our rival in the Kanto region, and they gave us to him in Mythical Island. So like the mini set may introduce our rival. So these are little things that they're like putting together that I thought was like really interesting. And of course they're adding in Volo. Volo would be so cool, and again, if they really draw from the Hisuian region, him would be crazy, right? Like even him adding into the piece here, like this says, like if A2 were to include references to Pokemon Legends Arceus, the first card that comes to mind is Volo, whose ability is to discard one of your own Pokemon to avoid awarding your opponent a point, could prove to be useful in a Cyrus and bench damaging focus metagame. Honestly, that would be interesting. I am for like I'm giving this Pokemon the fossil ability so that way it stays safe and I don't let it get KO'd, where you're losing out obviously on energy, on any tools that you have, but you're avoiding the like, they're gonna Sabrina me up, let me not lose here, they're going to Cyrus me up, let me not lose here. And I wonder if that's too strong, but obviously you can only run 2 of them, so you can't do it every so often, and you obviously run more Pokemon than that as well too. But let me know, would this be too broken? Maybe. And then the item cards that they have here, Wally is from the original TCG game, and this is again searching. Rare Candy is opts out for you being able to skip it, and so like if you have your basic Pokemon, you can go right into your stage 2 Pokemon. I don't know if they're gonna include things like this because it's just hard. It's just hard because like, you know, you think of like things like, oh, this would be so good for like my off meta decks, like it is, you know, they don't get a chance, like Empoleon, you can go straight to it, or like Torterra, maybe that would make Torterra good, but it would make everything else better. Okay, it would make everything else better. You don't want to be dealing with like Mewtwo Gardevoirs. You don't want to be dealing with Greninjas, right? Like you don't want to be dealing with Charizards. Like there's just so many Pokemon that are meta right now that like with the inclusion of Rare Candy are just gonna like be too much to deal with. So that's interesting. Let me know if you like something like this or not, but like I don't know, I think it would be too much. But yeah, y'all, with it being set February 28th, and then the A3 coming all the way 2 months later, April 30th, they're still kind of keeping their time frame. I think they just sped this up because they wanted to align with Pokemon Day, which makes sense. That is when like a lot of eyes are going to be around Pokemon. People are looking for Pokemon, so like you got to give it to them. That's what they want to do, so that makes sense. But let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what your ideas are. Obviously, this is just going off the patterns of what happened before, and we will find out everything once the Pokemon company decides to let us know. They're definitely good at being tight-lipped, so we're trying to see if we can just like piece things together. All right, y'all, if y'all enjoyed this, let me know down below. Like, subscribe, and definitely click that notification bell button so you don't miss out on a thing. Until next one, y'all, peace.